Things happen here that no one can even begin to imagine.
The Evank was right. The atmosphere here is real strange. So unreal. Even if perhaps a good portion of superstition is involved, I have a strange feeling here. And then the story with the Thunderbirds and the endless sickness. Pull yourself together, Nina. You're just exhausted. There are no Thunderbirds, and any phenomenon, no matter how mysterious, can be explained rationally. Hopefully. That must be the site that the old man spoke of. My father started his expeditions from here. Maybe I'll find an explanation here of how the events of the past link with the kidnapping of my father. I should probably watch out where I'm stepping. One false step could be my last one. The small windows are absolutely filthy. An 8mm film projector. Considering its age and the fact that it's not professionally handled here, it is not in bad condition. It won't work without electricity. Are shards always broken, or are there whole shards? An interesting question. I'll have to ask my former philosophy professor. An old rag. The button must have a purpose. But what? Nothing happens. A small metal pin. There is nothing special to see, but then again, it is pitch black in there. There is nothing special to see, but then again... A small bit of tinfoil. An old drinking water tank. It looks like a garden hose. Time has been gnawing away at it, but there don't seem to be any large cracks or holes in it. A bit of petroleum still seems to be in there. A generator, supplying the hut with power. There is obviously no more fuel in it. That would have been too good. If I remember correctly, then that thing has something to do with magnetism and producing electricity. Wow, what a monster! I have to ask, even if I'm talking to myself, how did that thing get here? There still seems to be a bit of diesel oil in there. This has been plundered. Everything that can be taken off and carried is gone. There are only 2 small nuts here, and I am having them. There's still plenty of vodka in there. If I want the one spirit, I think I will have to get rid of the other. Nastarovia!
Oops, I think I'm a bit out of practice.
That must be the research station that the transit train was supposed to be going to. Has it even arrived there at all? The research station is certainly impressive. It even has its own runway, and probably just as impressively secured. I can forget getting in there. I'm not even sure that I want to go in anyway. After all, I have heard and read about this station and the place it was built on. Anyway, the station does radiate a certain fascination. Not a positive one. And the longer I look, the more I get the shivers. I better make my way back. There's a lot to do, and I still don't know what secret out of Daddy's past is concealed here. The whole station looks like out of a science fiction movie. Hardly believable, considering that it has been here for several decades. Will its secret ever be revealed to me? The river drops about 30 meters here. It's a very impressive sight. That must be a tributary of the stony Tunguska. It's not the river's fault, but I'm starting to hate that name. I'll light the lamp. I can't see or find anything special. The wall is covered in soot. You can't just wipe it over and, hey, presto, clean. The rag is soaked through. I would never have dreamed that one day I would clean out a chimney from the inside. Now that the soot is off, I can see numbers written on it. 7.5, 3, 10.5, 6. Nothing happens. That's what I call quality craftsmanship. Over 50 years old, and it still works like it did when it came out of the factory. I'll hold both nuts close to the coils, but not too close, otherwise I'll be toast. As a result, they seem to have become magnetized. That's strange. Obviously, the compass needle only moves when I press the button. I seem to have triggered a mechanism, but nothing has happened yet. Secret compartment. There are a few old documents and a roll of film in there. I'll have a look at the documents. Maybe my father left them there. Yes, indeed. He describes that the 1958 expedition apparently could not provide an explanation why the plant growth has changed so much here since the catastrophe of 1908. The discovery of a meteorite, hoped for by the government as a cause of the devastating explosion, also did not materialize. For this reason, neither my father in his function as the leader of the expedition, nor the biologist, Ken Morangi, could provide an unambiguous conclusion, which obviously was not regarded favorably by the authorities. Oh, and they are also briefly mentioning Oleg here, but apparently he was not that important. I guess I'd better not tell him that. Years later, in his function as a geologist at the Academy of Sciences in Moscow, my father examined a strange piece of metal that had been found in the Tunguska region. He then was able to prove its non-terrestrial origins, which breathed new life into the meteorite theory. However, upon further analysis, he and his colleague Manuel Perez discovered traces that indicated that the metal had been worked. When they wanted to publish their discovery in the Kalenkov Expert, it was completely, surprisingly, rejected, and they were forbidden any further examination of the rock. When my father continued to inquire about the happenings in the Tunguska region, he was dismissed from the Academy of Sciences. The last entries are from 1977. Obviously, he and Manuel Perez went to the Tunguska region on their own. They hoped to find additional fragments of that strange material so they could continue their studies. What the goal was and what happened isn't written down in here. In addition, I have this burning desire to know what is going on with this fragment. On the one hand, it's probably not of terrestrial origin, but on the other hand, it was processed. That would mean... The old Evink also said something about his son finding some metal fragment in the woods, and then suddenly disappearing. That would fit in with the fact that my father was even thrown out of the Academy of Sciences due to his analysis. I hope that I will find some more answers on that roll of film. An old film reel. There must be something exciting on it because such an extravagant hiding place was chosen for it. Damn, the bulb has burned out. It's not possible to just pop around to the shops and get another around this place. So now is the time to think of something else. Inside, the windows are almost clean. As an obedient little housewife, of course I know what my duties are. There, finished. Shall I make dinner now as well? Without a replacement for that burnt-out bulb, I won't be able to see anything. I've wrapped the tinfoil around the broken glass. Yep, that should work. Since it's rather dark in here, the light reflected by my modified glass shard should do it.
So, Manuel, the camera's rolling.
Please excuse me for a moment. I'll be right back.
Manuel!
What was that? Lightning? Or sheet lightning? And what happened to this Manuel Perez? That sounded like an explosion. I should see what's going on. Looks as if half the station exploded.
Come on, come on! Move your asses! The intruders have to be around here somewhere. We'll get them. Spread out.
Oh, my head. What was that? Feels like someone sifted through my thoughts.
There's someone up there. Get them!
Damn. I have to get away from here.